Hello everyone, welcome back to Coding with Carl, the show where we tell Java that we will not give up. We will persist until we have a working Android app. And last night we did a big 3-hour stream and it was great. Got a hell of a lot done. And we're really happy with where the app is right now. And I'm using the royal we because I'm English and I can't seem to help doing it. Now, a couple of things. One, if you are first time checking out this stream or you've not seen any of the previous shows, I explain what we're doing every time I start a show, but we're basically building an Android app from scratch with very little experience of Java. And yeah, if you want to catch up on any of the previous episodes, you can check out the 0 to Android playlist on YouTube right here. This is where I upload everything and I do my best to get them online as quick as possible. So yeah, I'm pretty much up to date now. Everything up to the last stream from last night is now there for your viewing pleasure, and I recommend watching things at double speed because things can get a little bit slow sometimes. Snow? No, I don't want any more snow. Okay, second thing, I'm currently running a poll, and you can see the link here, and you can click the link down in the description, down in the channel feed actually, down here. And this poll is for the logo and icon for this application when it is finished. I want to have the theme. I want to have a nice theme, and I want to kind of have a creative direction for where we're going. And I would really appreciate the feedback, any feedback that you guys have got on these logos and what you think to them. Also, I am very, very close now to becoming a Twitch affiliate, and the last thing I have to do is reach 50 followers. I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has followed me already. It's kind of more than I expected, and I didn't expect there to be as much interest as there is in this show, so thank you very much. And hopefully you're enjoying it as much as I am. Hi Dragon Dust, welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's recap on where we are. Yesterday we took out a massive chunk of work, which was being able to do things like brush your teeth for more than a 30-minute slot. We can now do up to 6 hours. I could make this list incredibly long, but I think, as I said yesterday, if you're going to do anything for more than 6 hours, you should probably at least take a bathroom break, or death might be a side effect. So if I pick a 3-hour chunk now, and then overall hygiene, then that's not good. It jumped us back to the wrong place. Anyway, we have this this bigger block now that encompasses the whole time that slot takes up. I'm bugged now by that bug. What happens if I do something here? Jumping me back to the wrong place. We have a bug, and it's not backfilling that either. We definitely have a bug, which is extremely disappointing because we put a lot of time into this yesterday. What the hell? Is there anything in the log? This is not the start to the stream that I wanted, guys. Nothing. What's going on? We should probably fix that before we try and do anything else. And I hope this isn't going to be one of those streams where I end up spending the whole stream trying to fix the bug. What happens if I do it on tomorrow? So I go to 1400, short break, 30 minutes, no goal. Takes me to the wrong place. And we've stopped. We have some kind of nasty, nasty bug. Wow, what have we done? Things are very, very broken. Okay, I guess it's going to be one of those CSI style episodes then. Okay, only selected application, verbose mode. Don't seem to have any errors going on right now. let's just like restart this emulator just to make sure that we haven't got anything freaky going on, because Android Studio has been a bit of a nightmare. And I updated it the other day and it hasn't quite been right since. Is this a personal project or something for a customer? This is, I guess, well, I'm not doing it for anybody else. I would like it to become a commercially available app at some point in the future. But this is the main goal of it for now is to, as an educational thing, want to show people that you don't have to be a fantastic programmer to get stuck in and start using languages and technologies that you're completely unfamiliar with. You know, and hopefully encourage people to jump into Android development, this sort of development. Will you boot? Disconnected and offline. Start the power. What's going on? Maybe I need to cold boot this system. Where is it? It's in WinTools. AVD Manager, I think. And then here we can do a cold boot now. Why can't I do that? It's already running. Stop running. Okay, let's go. Cold boot. Please. I kind of wish my phone booted as quick as this virtual device does. Okay, here we are. We are booted. Is the time right? The time is right. So let's try and launch our app and figure out just what the heck is going on. Android Profiler. Will you help us, please? No connected devices there. System process. I want to look at my app. Where are you? I only want to look at my app. There. Okay, so we're looking at it. Memory usage is 64 megabytes. CPU, we're using 100, no we're not, we're using 0%. So we have 64 meg available to us by the looks of it. We're using 38.4. And where are all my things? And immediately I'm noticing that it's jumping us to midnight, which is incorrect. So we may have made a boo-boo somewhere. Because what we should be seeing, what should happen here is it should jump us directly to where we are right now in time, which would be around 1938, wouldn't it? Which would be down here. So we should be booting and seeing this highlighted here. So what's going on with that? Let's have a look. We did it in our planner fragment, I believe. And scroll to TS. This is where it is. So we should be running this piece of code. If we're not, we have a problem. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, see if we trigger this. Let's run this in debug mode. Okay, I don't want that breakpoint anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. And resume. The application is running. So that piece of code never got ran, which is a good start. Fragment, right? Yeah, here. So maybe we will set a breakpoint here then and run again. Okay, here we are. So we're coming in, intent TS is 0. So did I accidentally remove some code from this? Hang on. This here, what we're saying is if intent TS is more than or equal to day start TS. What we're not saying is what if the intent is not set at all. So what we want to do if intent is not equal to, where did everything go? Oh, right, okay. So if intent TS is not equal I just love it when Android Studio overwrites things that I don't want it to overwrite. Intent TS is not equal 0 and that's, then run that. Otherwise if this is, yeah, okay, so I think we made an assumption there we shouldn't have. But I don't think that's going to fix our problem. So here we are, intent TS is 0, one step over that. It jumps down to this, says if it is today, and it's recognized that it's today, scroll to timestamp, time now. Let's do, where's time now? There. Copy value, we'll check it in epoch converter. And we have 7:41, which is the correct time for my time zone. So do we have a problem in scroll to TS? Let's have a look. Step in. Scroll to position. This position from TS, and position from TS, step into. Time zone get default, offset seconds. What do we have then? Offset seconds is an hour, that's right. Hours elapsed. Hours elapsed is 19.69. And return pos after that should be 39. That's right. So why is it not scrolling us to position 39 then? So then we jump down here, step out of here, step out of here, step out of here, and we're back up to the same breakpoint again. Resume, resume. It should have happened, but it doesn't. That is strange. If I do something at 1 AM, and then it's telling it to scroll to this timestamp, (12 AM), 1 AM. Okay, so that worked. What happens if I restart the app now? I wonder if it's got something to do with the way we're rendering this list. How do I deactivate all my breakpoints? Is it this one? Mute breakpoints. Resume. Takes us to midnight. Let me just, I always like to check that the date and time are right, because I have come unstuck with this before. April 26th. Yep. You see, even if it fell through this, it should have gone to the starting slot. How have I broken this? Ah, do you know what, guys? I'm looking at entirely the wrong bit of code. This... No, I haven't. I haven't at all. But I haven't really changed all that much in here, apart from... Am I doing this twice? Because if I look at in the planner rec adapter, don't I have something... So where am I doing that? I'm doing it... Yeah, this is weird. This is a weird one. Why doesn't scroll to TS work? What would have stopped that from working? It's this bit of code here that's not working. Let's get rid of that, get rid of that, rerun it. Okay, so I'm here. Scroll to TS. This position from TS. Return past 39, so then it should scroll us to position 39. But it doesn't. The only thing I can think of that I changed was the height of them. But I don't think that would screw up the... I really don't feel like that would screw up being able to scroll around. But let's... I guess we should probably... It might be this set layout params thing. I hope it isn't, because that's what allows us to change the height of it. It's not that. What's the problem? String equals on a null object reference. Here, item.goalName. Ah, okay. Okay, that's something that might be causing more problems. So let's set a marker here. To do. Could be null. And I'm told that this is the bane of many a Java developer's existence. Goal name. See, there it is. It's a public string. So what would make that null? Maybe the object itself is null. Current item dot goal name. Let's put in something that will help us catch that problem. Current item dot goal name is null. Log.e call null detected, else, and we will remove this if statement later once we figure out why it's null. And now we try and replicate that bug, which isn't going to be easy. Already right there, null detected. So let's set a breakpoint there and figure out what the heck is going on. Skip that one. Here we are, null detected. Current item. $1400. Goal name null. Why would an empty string, because it's initialized as an empty string. Ah, of course, goal can be null. And I guess it's coming out of the database as a null object rather than a string. Because what's happening, guys, is we're selecting it here, gname. Yeah, so that can be null due to how this left join works. And then we are using that to... Alright, so it's entirely possible for goal name to be null. So that's what we should be checking for, not an empty string. Or we should be checking for that first. So we can say if current item... it's overwritten again. If current item dot goal name equals null, or it has no text, then we do that. Otherwise, we use that goal name. And we need to get rid of this else. Let's run that and restore this. Where else do we have goal name? That's fine, that's fine. Okay. We need to also clean up this. And we'll rerun that and see if we still get that error. Okay, so it's still not jumping us to the correct place. That is a problem. Do we still have that breakpoint? But we do get laziness. So where was the one that said no goal? Is it in here? Iron Fist of code, no goal. So at least that bit of code is working. Why, oh why, are we not jumping to the right place? Me, null detected. Let's clear this log. Jump forward a little bit, jump back a little bit. Okay, nothing showing up in there. Rerun. So I'm not seeing anything bad in here. But we are no longer able to scroll to the correct position. Let's do 230. Short break. No goal. It takes us there then. It's only when we are rendering this list initially. So it works when the intent TS is there, but it doesn't work when it's not there. I can't help but feel like that's total BS because this bit of code is getting called. Is it this? Oh. It's recognizing that it's today. Wow, this is a tricky one, guys. This is the other weird thing, right? It's still jumping us to 7 o'clock when we scroll across. So it's only on the active view. Even if I go over there and then come back to 7, it works, and it fires and it works. But when we initially load the app, it doesn't. And that makes me wonder, are we kind of... Is everything there? Let's resume. Everything's there. Right, it's 2300. We're missing 2330. Is that on every day? We're missing 2330 on every single day. So we have a backfill problem as well. This should have been called like the bug fixing show. So this is still a bug. And all we have are clues. Planner rec adapter. Where's the backfill? Fill the gap. This is the problem. So slots to backfill from the last that's a double operation. Timestamp plus 23.5. Yeah, I guess that should be 24 then. Can't believe I didn't see that yesterday. Okay guys, I'm not sure if you saw that, but it jumped us to almost the correct spot. It jumped us to 8 o'clock. It's not quite 8 o'clock yet, so it should have jumped us, unless it's a rounding up. If when I do the integer cast, it's rounding it up rather than rounding it down, which I wouldn't expect it to do. Then it did work then, and we got 2330 back. Yeah. But I'm not sure how that would have caused the bug. See now, look at this. Now when I scroll over to tomorrow, it starts at midnight. And then go back over to that and it starts at 7. This is crazy. What have I coded? What beast have I created? 7, 7, tomorrow. And what is the difference here? We have a large slot that goes from 7:30 to 12:30. Does that somehow prevent us from scrolling because there's a large slot there? I'm going to run it again. I need to be able to totally kind of replicate. Yeah. Weird as hell. Now, 0, 0. 0, 0. 0, 0. 7 a.m. So let's take Saturday then. And let's bang something in at 2200 and make it 2 hours long. So that takes us right up to the midnight boundary. Scrolls us to the right place, doesn't add anything after it. This is a weird, weird bug. Plan a fragment. It's almost as if it's being scrolled back afterwards. I'm going to run it in debug again and figure this one out. So I feel like the first view that should be loaded isn't today, but yesterday, because it will do 3. So this current day TS, I'm going to check this, copy value. And that gives us Thursday at midnight, which is today. So today is the first one that's rendered. And that's kind of sane because that's the first one that you see, that's okay. So if I resume now, this should happen another 2 times. Okay, so then copy value. Current day TS. Did I copy that properly? Oh, of course, I'm looking at the wrong thing entirely. I need to be looking at top of day here. So let's start this again and we'll figure it out. Right, so top of day. Here, copy value. That one is what we expected. We're seeing today there, right? So then we run it again. Should create another one, copy value. There. That gives us Wednesday, which was yesterday. And then I'm guessing the next one is going to be tomorrow. Thursday, right? And then the program should run. But it doesn't scroll us to the correct place. It is rendered last, but I can't see how that would affect anything. So let's run it again. We know that the first one created is today, so if we run it through, down here, should jump over that one straight into today. Today is true, and then scroll us to that timestamp, right? But we know that that doesn't work. And then it just jumps to the end. So we'll resume. This is yesterday, so it should jump down to that last block, which it does. Sends us to the starting slot. And then we'll resume again, get the last one, and it should jump down to that last one again, and it does. So there's nothing funny going on there. What is unusual is that when it does this and goes to where we want it to, that's fine, isn't it? Time now, yeah. So yeah, it jumps us into there. Get the time now. We step in. I know we've done this a bunch of times now. We go down through here. We get return pos. which is 40, which would give us 8 o'clock, which is correct. And then we go back to here. We'll step into this and figure it out. So if my layout is frozen return, do we trigger that? No. Stop scroll. M layout is null. Right, so we over that. We do scroll to position 40 and awaken scroll bars. Then what? And then back. Wow. Recycler view. Scroll to position. Not working. So it looks as if people have actually resorted to running this with a delay. It seems like something runs in parallel with onCreate that resets the scroll position. When you set the scroll position in onCreate or onResume or onStart without a delay, it just gets overwritten by this mysterious parallel process. I tried this in Debugger and stepped through the code before and after the scroll to position method, and it works just fine. Presumably by running the code line by line, I introduced a delay to let this mysterious parallel process complete first before running the scroll position method. I think that's why the answer given here works. Okay, so let's do I don't like this at all. I don't like it at all. So maybe we should do something like that is awful. Let's try using this this smooth scroll and see if it makes any difference. I don't want to do it because it's going to look ugly as hell. Where is it? Where is it? Is it in fragment? Scroll to TS. There. So we'll change it to smooth scroll to position. Run it. Let's pause and give Android Studio a slow clap. That's awful. Absolutely awful. I've just wasted 40 minutes on that. Maybe there's some kind of flag on the recycler view that says whether or not it's rendered. Something that I can use to, yeah. There's got to be some kind of flag on there that says whether or not it's time that I can scroll or not, and maybe if it's not set, I could wait, say, half a second before scrolling down. That's really ugly. Really, really ugly. I'm so disappointed. That's the first time, I think, that we've come up against something in the Android API that is just bad. Really bad. Okay, so where are we? Let's have a look. I'm going to set a breakpoint here. Where are my other breakpoints? Have I got any? think they're in here actually. Yeah, there's one there, look. So there's no problem with the code, although we have found a couple of extra bugs that we wanted to fix, and that's been helpful. This is where I want to be now, so I'm going to go here. And the first time that gets called, it shouldn't work, so fingers crossed we don't get anything unusual going on. Let's look at this .recycle view, and we can see if we look at is there anything that's like is? No. Item. These are all... Love how they underscore everything with M. Now you see, the scary thing is when I actually step through the code, none of the checks for whether it was scrollable or not failed. So I feel like it should have kind of thrown some kind of exception to say, you know, you can't do this because it's not yet been rendered. There's a hell of a lot of stuff going on here. Could it be this layout mode is -1? And we've got children count 0 as well. This might be the silver bullet, actually, thinking about it, because there's no children there. And I bet you if we go to the next one, what, that only happened once? Obviously, if there are no children, then it can't scroll, can it? So it's not been populated by the time I call this. So maybe the scroll code I'm using up in the... I'm calling it here, which is inside the render. So it's like it's... Where am I setting the... So it's like there almost needs to be a delay between, it's almost like this set adapter spawns a new thread and it starts a race condition from that point. So it's like if this goes off and starts rendering, but if it isn't completed by, I mean, why would they make that asynchronous though? I really don't want to set a timeout for this. I'd rather say like do this synchronously. Or maybe what we could do is is there some kind of callback for recycler view rendered or adapter. I can't find a listener to tell me for the recycler view to tell me that it's finished showing items so that I could check how many items are shown compared to the item count. The recycler view might also change its side when the keyboard appears or hides itself. What I've tried. Scrolling listener, blah blah blah. I found a way to solve this using PS Kink by using the callback of Layout Manager. On Layout Children. So we just have a new linear layout manager there, right? So I wouldn't like to. Yeah, we have this linear layout manager here. I wouldn't like to override this. I trigger the onLayoutReady method when this load is ready. Recycle view, get tree observer, .on layout. So I'm not the only person that's had this problem. On global layout listener. At this point, the layout is complete in the dimensions of the recycle view and all children are known. This method is called several times, not only when it has finished. It didn't work for me. It does work if you remove the listener after you are done with it on global layout. Yes, it works by removing the listener in the first call, thanks. So I do get the feeling that we only need to do this once, and I think it's because we're doing a lot more work now than we were. Are we doing more work? I feel like we're doing less work. Okay, so let's try it. Let's do this dot recycler view dot get tree observer dot add on global layout listener. All right, new view tree observer. That gives us the on global layout function. And then we'll do public void on global. We've got that. So if recycler view ready callback is not equal to null, then call it. On layout ready. Feels messy. Feels very messy. I don't like this sort of code. Otherwise, recycle view dot get tree observer dot remove on global layout listener. This victim. Look at that. Yeah, I feel like the victim right now. What I wanted to do this episode was build a nice menu. Instead, I am messing around trying to sort out problems that could have been sorted by just saying, tell me when this is done. Instead, I have this ugly mess that I would never remember how to do without this. Okay, so the other problem I've got is that I'm adding this every time I do a render. I don't like this solution. I don't like it at all. Not to mention the fact that I lose access to this inside this. How's this guy done it? Can I not just call a function from there? Creates an interface there. An interface. It's like if you already call back. Void on layout ready. Can that function not just be null? I guess not. I guess we have to make an interface for it as well. Oh, this sucks. This really sucks. I've got two things that I could do here. I could do this incredibly ugly hack, which isn't really a hack. This is probably the correct way to do things. But the API in the code read like crap, and it's ugly as hell. Or I could just set a timeout and say just wait like 500 milliseconds if the app is still loading before you do this. Or I could say should sleep the thread, really? Ugh. Let's try it. Okay, so where are we looking at? We're looking at scroll to TS. Don't like this at all. If this.recyclerview.mChild, what was it? Let's run it again. Sure, it was child count. Yeah, mChildren and children counts. Is that private? Is that why I can't access it? Get child count is less than or equal to 0. And do something thread.sleep 333 milliseconds. What else? Interrupted execution. Yeah. Alright, I have to wrap that in a try catch as well. Fabulous. Try. I'm even forgetting how to use Vim. I'm getting that tired of this garbage. Interrupted exception. E. Okay. Will you work now? No, doesn't work. So see, the problem with this is it's going to be different on lots of phones as well. So still doesn't work. We're locking up the wrong thread, evidently. Maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree entirely here, but let's just check it on the other ones and see whether the child count, because those two work, right? So we should call scroll to T, should we? Let's have a look. This gets called scroll to position. Scroll to timestamp. So this one, that one works, that one's fine. That one doesn't work, this one does. So I want to set another breakpoint here. Okay guys, if anybody has any questions or suggestions, put them in the chat now, because we are coming to the end of the stream. And unfortunately, I am no further along than I was when we started. But these things happen sometimes, right? So here we are, and child count is going to be 0, because it always is. Child count 0, right? And then the next one, this dot recycle view. Where is it? Child count equals 0 there as well, but that one works. Have I gone past it? I think I have. What am I doing? This dot recycle view. Where is child count? Zero. So it's 0 for all of them. So it gets called again. So this happens when we page in. But then when I page back, it happens again. And it is loaded here, right? So the theory, I think, is wrong. I don't think introducing a delay will fix this. There's something about the fact that this is today. Child count's still probably going to be 0. If I can find it, because there are so many properties on this thing. Still 0. And where have we stopped here, actually? We've stopped in planar fragment. So I've gone back to today, and it's not recognized the fact that I'm on today. Let's go over there. Stops there, right? Resume. Let's go back. Still thinks that we're not on today. Okay, so maybe it's to do with the pager. Okay, I'm going to overrun just a little bit because I feel like that might have been a clue. So, if it's to do with the pager, is today's false? It must have been true when it was up there because that says today. Okay, that now never gets used. That's true. Top of day, this.day start TS. Day start TS. There, copy that value and tell us what it is. Reveal your secrets. Wednesday at 12. That's yesterday. Something's getting screwed up. Because that shouldn't be yesterday, should it? When I scroll over to, when I scroll over here, we get to tomorrow. And now we're not doing anything. I'm going to remove this breakpoint and resume. So we are here. I'm just going to resume everything, right? Then I'll go over to tomorrow. This, day start TS, copy value. Friday, which it is tomorrow. Then resume, go back to yesterday. Start of day TS, copy value. Wednesday. What happens if I go back again then? Tuesday. Okay, we've got some big problems here, guys. The pager is screwed. So we have a problem here. Right, so when we get item, we create a new instance with the start point, and the start point is top of day. Where's top of day? Focus lib top of day local. So that gets today minus the start position times the number of seconds in a day. So when that position is 0, we're starting at 30, we go back 30 days, right? So that's the start point. And then in here we do the start point, which is minus 30 days, plus the position, which if we're starting at position 30, then it should bring us back to where we are, but it's not. Target position equals that target position. I'm going to debug this now. I want to remove my other breakpoints as well. Where are they? How do I list my breakpoints? View breakpoints. Nope. I want to remove that one. Right. So debug. So starting position, step over, target position, move, target position is there, right? Copy value. And that should be target timestamp really, which gives us Thursday at midnight. So that's fine. Resume. Next one, position 29 renders. That gives us Wednesday at midnight, right? Next. Why did what just happened? Step out. Resume. Next one, position 31, which is the day after. Step over, get that target position, copy value. That is Friday, so that's right as well. And then we resume. So we know that the position for this is right now. And if we go over here, then we render position 32, which is the next day. Which gives us Saturday, which is right. And position, we're looking at position 31, and position 30 is still in memory. Or should be. We go back, position 29 gets called, right? Yeah, because it's trying to render the one from before. Alright, so this isn't the problem. This is kind of intended behavior. What I didn't realize is when I'm jumping between things, so what should happen in order for me to get this to re-render, I need to go forward 2 days. Let's mute the breakpoints. I need to go forward 2 days, resume, and then that will force today to re-render, right? And if I go back, nothing. It still doesn't take us to the right place. Bummer. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the stream on this because I am completely stumped. And hopefully I can figure this out off stream and fix it. Yeah. Bummer. Okay, episodes go like this sometimes, I guess. So nothing to add to the to-do list, nothing to check in code-wise. It's just been a dead episode of me debugging, trying to figure out why the hell it's not scrolling. yeah, so I will be back tomorrow, Friday, at UK time 5:30 p.m. 17:30 24 hour. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.